Hello, my name is Sammy, and welcome to my Stream Theory playthrough of Dark Souls, where I will continue to play the game, full playthrough, and try to analyze and comment on the game live as I go. So, today, finally made it to the Painted World, which is actually a place that I kind of skipped earlier on, or rather, held off until later, because I played this game before and I knew when I would encounter this part of the world, this level. So I decided it was more important to do other things in this playthrough and get those out of the way before I would delve into this. Now, interesting enough, this area is pretty much optional. Actually, one of the first things I want to do here, since I have a lot of souls from the last part, because I did beat a boss, beat the Fire Sage Demon, right near where I was opening the shortcut to Lost Islet. So I don't know if I can actually, yeah, I can. I can level up once. So I think I will do that. Vitality and Dexterity are probably my two main stats that I want to keep upgrading right now. I think ultimately I want to get Dexterity to the point in this game where like the stats for Strength and Dexterity reach like a cap of diminishing returns is level 40. So I think by the end of the game, I will probably have Dexterity to 40, and then I don't know what else I would put. Just keep upgrading Vitality and Dexterity. So, and maybe I'll go with Vitality for now, while I will do Dexterity a lot later. But that's just leveling. It's just 1 point anyway, so it's not a huge deal. So anyway, this Painted World of Ariamis is a place I encountered when I first entered Anor Londo. Okay. And when you enter the cathedral, you see a large painting. You have an opportunity to interact with the painting. And if you do that, you are pulled into this entirely separate level from the rest of the world. It's a completely isolated place. You're essentially in the painting. And you have apparently no way to get out except if you defeat Ornstein and Smo before you get here. Then I'm pretty sure you have the option to warp like I do. So because I'm doing this after Ornstein and Smo, I'm not exactly as isolated as I should be as when I would if I would have interacted with the painting when I first encountered it in the cathedral. Which is what actually I did in my first playthrough, as, you know, naturally I would want to investigate and I would be pulled into the world, be cut off from the rest, and have to deal with being in this new location, trying to get out. But because I did it, like, basically out of sequence is probably the wrong term here. I'm allowed to warp. Now it's the wrong term because, you know, in Dark Souls it's highly encouraged that you would encounter areas as you see fit. To make sure I don't die here, take a lot of health, or take a lot of damage. So I would actually encourage people playing this game, if they see me doing this and already in here, like, yeah, I guess I apologize for spoiling the fact that you'd be whisked away here and you'd have to figure your way out of here. It's probably something you should encounter as a surprise. In any case, I would encourage you to let yourself be whisked into this world, because the way it changes the pace of the game, as I was saying in the last part when I first entered here, allows you to experience something new. Plus, when you are questing in a game, it's never bad to get sidetracked. It's never bad to let the game surprise you, find new areas, and then try to tackle the challenges that the game puts forth upon you. An entirely new enemy here. This like sort of bulbous version of those. Alright, we're toxic. Luckily I do have these blooming purple moss clubs still equipped. I forgot about these guys, but I'm so glad I still have the purple moss clumps from when I went to... Oh, I accidentally ate one again instead of healing up. When I went to Blight Town. In any case, so... New area, always wants to approach it by exploring. Another interesting fact about the painted world, Ariamis, is that if you approach the painting and you actually don't have a certain item, then nothing happens. You just don't interact with it at all. Now this item, I wonder if I'll actually get attacked here. Seems like it might be a trap, so I'm trying to make sure I concentrate. This item is actually the... Ah, there it is. That's what I was looking for. It's a little bit delayed. Alright, kill these things really quickly. They're a new type of enemy I haven't seen before, so naturally want to try and learn how to tackle it. They're fairly tough, but I should be able to take advantage of the bleed effect on my sword here. Take them out. So as I was saying before I was attacked, a very obvious trap that I walked right into. The item here picked up much earlier in the game. Peculiar doll. Strange doll with strange dress. There was once an abomination who had no place in this world. She clutched this doll tightly and eventually was drawn into a cold and lonely painted world, which is where we are right now. So my trip to the asylum, or my return to the asylum earlier on, was actually what allowed me to get into this world in the first place. So yeah, what I want to do right now is return to the bonfire because I don't have to come back to get that item up there anymore. I am just going to continue this way, but I figure I might as well go up to full flask before I do it. So I figure a lot of people won't really encounter this world, at least not in their first attempt through the game, their first playthrough, because of just the very fact that it's like 2 areas removed from being able to enter it, right? So, and one of those areas, the first area, the return to the asylum, is like essentially a secret that is hard to actually get to in the first place or return to. Like you saw back when I went to there, I have to make like a difficult jump first of all to actually get to the stairs that would allow me to get back to the asylum. Now once you actually make that jump and get back to the asylum, you also then have to complete the asylum and find the doll to be able to even... I'm gonna go try and get this caster here without dying. Alright, so as long as I roll away when I kill them, I should be okay. Nope, still got toxic here. So, now this area should be difficult to get to for a lot of people on their first playthrough, unless they do a lot of research, looking up wikis of this game. They can get the doll and make sure to get to this world when they encounter the painting. So, yeah, depending on when you get that doll, that is entirely what decides what allows you to get that. I don't think I can. Not sure if I can make this jump. I wonder if I had to actually get to that from up above. That might have been a mistake to return here. So. Alright, so we see rats. Painted rats here. So I like these sort of side excursions from the main quest line of the story, because you know in any RPG or any heavily exploration-based game or story-based game, this is more of an exploration and world-heavy game than story-heavy. But yeah, the journey going on one path, trying to pursue one specific type of path can get a little tiresome after a while. You want something to freshen it up, to give you some sort of change. And I'm still trying to figure out how to get to that item. I know I got it before. I have to rediscover how to do it, and it might actually be from up here. So I'm falling into that trap again, ostensibly. Yeah, I was right here. Okay. Dried finger. That's essentially what this painted world allows you. It allows a fresh new level to break up the experience, break up that journey, so that when you actually make your way back to it, you can approach it anew with a new perspective. Let's find out what that dried finger does. Dried finger with multiple knuckles, shriveled but slightly warm. With this many knuckles, surely it cannot belong to any human. Alright, so I can't remember entirely what it does. I think it has to do with PvP. In any case, I don't think it will be relevant to my playthrough. This is an interesting find, for sure. In this world alone, because of how difficult it is, relatively difficult it is to get to, definitely adds a lot of replayability, so that if you miss it the first time, you can make sure to get it the second time, and your experience will be very different from your first playthrough. So another great thing about Dark Souls is that, yeah, your experience can be very different. There were a lot of areas that I missed in my first playthrough, and I believe this one was one of them. Just because, yeah, a lot of secret areas, surprising amount of secret areas, considering how much resources it would take to develop those areas. Out of there before toxic. Okay, so I think I'm done with this building here. Let's see what else there is. Of course, there are guys that are... Okay, I don't think I can get that item or the one that was hanging until a bit later. Yeah, I don't think I can access this portion of the building. And again, I'm still exploring. It's been a while since I played this game, so that difference of time in between my playthroughs has allowed me to experience the game somewhat fresh. So it's like I'm approaching this level like new. But I believe I can't get to that second part of the area before. But I have to imagine that the developers of this game, it was probably a difficult decision to create something like this, to create an area like this, especially since they are making it fairly difficult to get to. Intentionally, well. Okay, a lot of sneak attacks here. Toxic. Let's get that purple moss plant. Okay. Man, a lot of sneak attacks in this room. A lot of places where enemies drop down. So I know there are more sneak attacks. There were some enemies hanging off here. There's another one trying to ambush me from behind as well. No, I wanted to dodge away. Okay. Not bad. Alright, so I can try and jump down over here, I suppose. A lot of areas I could go to. Right, so about this level, imagine, yeah, it was a difficult decision. I wonder how many, how many levels could have been secret locations, but the developers would not have wanted to make so many. Well, largely because if you make too many secrets, it's like a waste of resources, right? You want players to see at least the majority of your game before you decide to devote a lot of resources. So that's why, as I said before, I always respect developers who will, what's the word for that? Developers who will take that risk, essentially, take that risk. Also, I have to take a risk here and try to make a jump. I want to get that item. Let me try and do that. Run and then a jump. There we go. When you make secret areas like this, you have to devote a lot of resources, and then certain players are going to see it, and certain players, actually, it's more than likely that a majority of players won't see those secret areas. They will completely miss them. So yeah, I always respect when developers do that and allow, when they see the importance of making a game highly replayable, making your experience transformative, and allowing different players to experience different things, and allowing different playthroughs to be different. It just adds a lot of value to the game, at the risk of, making content missable by players. And as I said, I did miss this part, but on my first playthrough, and I did miss a lot of other secret areas, but I enjoyed it even more when I finally did discover them. Okay, so just trying to figure out which way to go, because there are a lot of different paths I could take here. Let's try and check out this ladder, see where that leads. Alright, I see hands over there, so if I attack, usually you can knock them off. I believe that this is just the basement part of this level, and you can get to it a different way anyway, so I didn't necessarily have to take that ladder. Alright, so Mimic. Always checking now. Okay, we can get the painted set here. Not bad. Alright. That is only one way to go here. So as far as my progress through Dark Souls, there are a lot of paths I could have taken after Ornstein and Smough. As I said, when I opened that shortcut, I could have continued going in the direction of Izalith and those lava ruins. Certainly a path there. Okay, there's an enemy here trying to surprise me. I could have gone in the direction of any of those 4 lords that were now open to me, but I decided to do this because I felt it was the right time to do it. At least for me. Okay, so I can go that way. There are also items to get over here I can definitely try and go for. Okay, there's an item over there as well. I don't think I can reach it from here. There's probably another way to go from another direction. So for now I will try to see what I can get from here. Okay, so that's where I went before. There's an item over there. So before Ornstein and Smough, I basically had a single purpose in mind. Well, and that was getting to Ornstein and Smough, and as well as dealing with the shortcut. It's because I had played this game before. I generally know what I need to do. If I didn't have that sort of direction, I would let myself wander a bit, trying to find more places, and I wouldn't necessarily gone to Anor Londo straight. But you know, now that I've accomplished that, I'm back to that wide open experience. That's the heart of the Dark Souls journey. Alright, so I think what I want to do here is try and get onto this area. Yep. So I don't want to fall in there because I've already been down there. Okay, this is right back to there, so I don't think there's anything extra to get here. This is just an alternate way to get back up to these rafters here. Oh, and there's also, I do see an item over there. I could probably try and get that. Just have to figure out how to do it. Okay, right here. Okay, so I can't get the item right now, but if I cut the rope, it'll fall, and whenever I get down there, that's when I'll be able to get the item. So now I'm back to, whereas before these recent parts I had like a main purpose and I knew straight where I was going. I had to go to from A to B to C only because I had that purpose in mind, and you know, that's not really a natural way to play the game. But because I had my own goals as far as the stream, that's why I'm approaching it this way. Alright, so just trying to make some decisions here. Yeah, I can get to that area from a different way. Oh, there's an item down there as well. We're still experimenting. Let's see what happens if I go down here. More rats. So I expect, I guess my point with this talking about how I have so many different ways to go is that this part and probably some of the future parts will be a little bit more chill as I go back to exploration mode rather than purposeful adventuring. Which is actually, I think, a little bit more reflective of what Dark Souls is all about. Let's see if I should be able to make that jump, right? So okay, break those boxes first. Barrels. There we go. Gold coin. And with that, okay, that leads back over here. I see. It's all looping around again. So even in a very separated part of the world, that is not part of the intricately designed central core of Dark Souls' world, we see kind of a microcosm of the Dark Souls style of just environment design and world building. Even in a small world like this, we see how all these paths loop around back against each other, so that you're always returning back to familiar areas, even when you're exploring new ones. And I guess that we're seeing a consistency of the level design here. Specific methodology of how From Software creates their world. It's like, even though this area is completely separated and not connected directly with the rest of the world here, that does not mean that they are giving up on their style of world building, of their tightly woven design practices. Alright, so I know there's a way down that way, but I also saw, again, we're seeing a lot of multiple paths here. There's an area I saw over here. Let's see. See a fog gate over there. There's an enemy roaming over there. Can't go that way, it's disconnected. Let's try going up this way. That was tough. Putting an enemy there is pretty good, especially since you're on a really narrow stairwell here. You could easily fall to your doom. Yeah, that item there is tantalizing, but I don't think I can get there by dropping down. Simply just keep going. Careful not to fall off. Alright, I can get something over there, or I can continue going up. There's another item up there. Let's try to get that last thing. Red sign soapstone. Okay, there's an enemy over there too. Leave an invasion sign. Okay, so this is a key PvP item you can only get from coming here, and I guess that's a really good place to put that, because people who would be interested in PvP and want to try to become really powerful and try to invade players, ganking them with really superior builds. It'd be a good place to put an item like that will, well, That would unlock more sinister summon signs. Very late in the game and in a kind of a secret area as well. Now, it's not necessarily related to like ganking. A red sign soapstone is one where you leave it on the ground. Let's take a look at it. You leave it on the ground, and then someone willingly summons you in to invade. And that's yeah, it's more related to duels and such like that. But I guess it's putting it in a world like this that is so far removed from the rest of the game makes sense in that you only want to give it to like the best of the best players. The most dedicated players will be able to find this world in the first place, and then also find that island. So I think I found everything here. I don't believe I can. Again, I don't believe I can get that item there. I think it is blocked off. Even if I continued on this path here. Yeah, it's right below. I cannot drop down there. Alright, you have to get to it in yet another direction. Again, it's like right over there. You can see it a little bit. There's, yeah, definitely another way to go. Okay. Wonder to actually make a jump here, I think. Or do I just have to like risk jumping down here? Yeah, I'm sure if I can get over there, then I'll be able to get to that item there. You know what, I can, I think it'll be far better for me to just bone back to the bonfire than try to make that jump. And I do have a lot of homeward bones anyway. A lot of flasks, so it's a good idea to go back to the bonfire. I also have a lot of souls, so I can actually can I upgrade everything? Can I upgrade anything at all? No, I can't. Level up is probably the best option here. And then try to attempt this run again. Now that I know more about what I'm facing, I can probably do this a little better without using up so much of my healing items. The neat thing about the way this particular level works is the very fact that you can stumble upon it, right? So that's a key part of this area that is unlike a lot of the other areas in this game, because if you find it before Ornstein and Snow, you are trapped in here, and you have to find a way out. Because the key thing there is that you're not necessarily going to be prepared for this area. You might find yourself caught with again, I'm trying to. You might find yourself caught with like no good equipment. Like maybe you were planning on leveling up, and then you try to check on this painting, and then oh, now you can't. Well, not level up. Level up your gear, armor, upgrade your gear and armor, and now you can't do that because maybe you're out of Titanite shards. You don't have enough to reach what you wanted to do before being whisked away. Now, when I first encountered this, I didn't really like it. I didn't really like being trapped in a place where you are didn't have a lot of preparation to deal with what you're going to face here necessarily. Whew, okay. Almost got messed up there. Okay. Like for instance, you might not have these blooming purple moss clumps that I have, and you would have a difficult time taking out these enemies. Whereas if you knew what this part of the world was going into it, you might stock up on a lot of moss clumps. So the fact that you have to tackle this area with the resources that you have is like a very unique challenge of the game. The game hasn't really thrown anything like this at you. Alright, so now that I dealt with those, I will... Oh, there's another one. Okay, I need to kill this one. Maybe I will heal up before tackling these guys. One flask is okay. I will prepare yet another moss clump. Okay. All in all, seems to be going fine. That's why I think I like this challenge originally. I grew to like this challenge as I played forth because being able to tackle the level, cut off from all your normal resources, cut off from, say, blacksmiths to buy new equipment, dealing with what you have on you, dealing with the threats here with what you have. It just feels even more rewarding when you get through it. So by the time I got to the end here of this level, really feel I overcame that challenge. The game just surprised me with. You could say that is something that Dark Souls does a whole lot. Presents you with a challenge and then forces you to overcome that challenge. It demands you to try to rise to it and overcome it, and then although it might seem unfair at first, eventually you start to see what you can do to combat it and deal with it. So in the case like this, in the case of this level, because it is so far into the game, I think it is totally fair to whisk you away. I mean, by this point in the game, by the time you get to Analondo, you have a lot of resources, and the fact that you might be resource-starved going into this is more of an illusion. It's more of something that you might think going into it, but it's not necessarily true. Eventually you realize, I do have all the tools to make it through this challenge and get to the end and get out of this hole that the game put me in. Alright, so Fog Gate, and we're down to that area below here. We're also facing a new enemy. A lot of enemies here. So they have spears, they can throw spears at you. Kind of tough. So definitely want to use the environment to your advantage. One thing you can do, I think, is let them come to you in that doorway while they you kind of funnel them in, bottleneck them. Another thing you can do is you can hide behind these blocks here. In any case, you want to get out of sight from their spears. So as they come around, very slowly you can make your way through them one by one. So I'm presented with a challenge here, and then I'm realizing that the game has taught me up until this point how to tackle it. It's given me the resources I need. Alright, so I'm not getting through his shield. But if I attack him from the side, I can totally get him. This level is Painted World is another example of the game trying to test what you've learned, right? So now that I'm applying what I've learned before in this game, and it looks like I'm successfully tackling these guys. You know, isolating. One thing I've done before, many times that I've learned to do before, is isolate enemies so that I have one-on-one battles when I'm presented with a multitude of enemies. There are still always ways to give yourself a one-on-one battle. See, now I've gone through all these enemies, and now they are all gone. Now I'm free and clear to explore further. So there's that item that I dropped down. I can actually get that now. And it's a humanity. Nice. That's always nice. Gotta love humanity. Alright, so let's check out these stairs. There's a well there. There's an item there. Ring of Sacrifice. I think we have one of those before. This is just another ring that you can use. Same purpose. Now, one key thing here. Another thing, that I've learned. Oh, there's kind of a hidden nook here. I knew I saw this item before. I can take advantage of my foreknowledge to. Yeah, I was looking for this nook, and now I found it. Get more souls. Another thing this game has taught me is that up until this point, let me see if I can lock by some contraption. Okay. No problem. I'm only going back here to demonstrate something, so bear with me while I do that. So I know I can continue forward here, right? And this looks very much like the end of the level, but that thing there looks like a large creature, and I want to make sure that if I die, I have a faster means of getting here. So again, going back to applying what I've learned, one of the key ways of approaching Dark Souls that I've learned up until now is to take advantage of shortcuts. There should always be a shortcut somewhere, right? So I figure I don't want to go that way right now. I want to see if I can find a shortcut, and if there's going to be a shortcut, I will probably be over here in this direction. So that's why I am heading to a different part of the level first, rather than the way out, because I know that there will probably be some sort of faster way to get to that end in the case that I do die. So with that in mind, the shortcut should actually be right here. And this leads all the way back to the very beginning. So now I actually can head this way and approach this much faster. So I have a quick way back to the bonfire here. So instead of going right there, I can go straight through. And now I can continue exploring a new area. much better fashion. Alright, so I guess one thing I want to do is try to get those items I saw earlier. I can also go in this building here. Another thing I can do is I could go and fight that large creature now. Now that I have a less dangerous path to it, and I can fight it with more flash. So maybe I'll do that first. And see what that leads me to. Alright, so it is moving. There we go. So I don't think I'm going to stay here. I'm going to run away while I tackle this large creature. Alright, so we have a large undead dragon type creature. So I want it to do that, so I can take like pot shots at it, right? So while it's spewing, I can hit it. So it's gonna spew in the middle there, and I can take hits at it here. Now it should go. Alright, it's gonna spew in the middle again. Get more hits on its foot here. Again, it seems fairly easy for me because in general, I already know the strategy to beat this guy. I've fought him before. So it's using these different sections to your advantage. Seems to be faster if you make him spew in the center and then just go off to the side and pick an arm and just hit him that way. So make him spew in the center again, or wherever, as long as he's not spewing his spit on the side you were on. And that should be it. Another thing on that, that I've learned is, don't let the size of creatures intimidate you. There is always a way to fight them, so if you just stay cautious and pay attention to enemies' attacks, then eventually you'll figure out the best way to tackle them. Now this is what all games do, is they in their own way, they usually either by a trial by fire or through a specific tutorial, they'll teach you the tools that you need to continue forward. Right, so there's only just the husk of a creature there. Just wanted to get those items. So I was wrong about this. This is not actually the way out. There is another way, and I think it's through that door that we saw below here. But might as well tackle this challenge and get those items while we're here, and then continue forward. When you play a lot of games, you learn that the game gives you all the tools you need. The game itself will usually teach you what you need to do to accomplish the tasks that it gives you. Dark Souls isn't really any different than that. It might seem the tasks that it gives you are very challenging, but much like other games, it also gives you the ability to learn how to tackle them. It's like any boss, any other level, you are able to apply what you've learned before. In this new level, so I'm applying the same sort of exploration tactics I would normally employ when encountering a new level. I'm trying to comb the area, find every nook and cranny and item I can, and you know, it's working in this new level. Even though I am taken aback by it, I am still finding my way through it. Does that mean that the game is easy? Definitely not. Like, it's of course with anything, it's easier said than done. And just because you know how to do something does not mean that you're necessarily going to be able to do it right away. It's, you know, it still takes practice. Still takes learning how to do the thing, the exploration, whatever the task it is that you need to do. I think the key here is just to not get overwhelmed. Alright, so I actually know that there is an NPC invader here, so what I want to do, maybe I'll level up as well, because I know I have a lot of souls now. Dexterity, sure. I know there's an NPC invader in this area, so I'm going to actually go human. And I need 2... keep missing it. I need 2 humanity for that. I already have 1 soft humanity, so I can only need to pop 1 here. Reverse hollowing. Go back to human form. And then... oh wait, it's 2 to kindle, right? So I wasted humanity. I keep always thinking 2 is key, but necessarily I don't really need to kindle. I've decided I don't need to kindle. If I was going to kindle, I would do that now. But yeah, so my mistake. There was a little bit of a small mistake. Because, you know, in my first playthrough I got used to kindling a lot, but then, as I got more experience with the game, I realized that you don't necessarily need to kindle all the time. You can totally get through the game with 5 flasks. Like, you realize, I just had a lot with Ornstein's mode that it's more of a, like a placebo effect, really. It's, you think you need those 10 flasks, so you feel more secure when you have them, but in reality, if you're up against a tough enemy, you're usually not going to be able to use those flasks. You're usually going to be killed before you can use it. Before you can use all your flasks, so really kindling, it can be a waste. Unless you know for sure you can use those items. Alright, Dark Spirit King Jeremiah has invaded. So that is... this is the NPC invader I was looking for. And let's fight him. So even though they aren't human invaders, the invaders are usually tougher enemies than what you normally encounter. He has all sorts of pyromancy techniques, and because you usually do not encounter those on the normal enemies. Those types of advanced attacks can take you by surprise. You gotta be careful when facing those NPC invaders. There's a nice secret item over here. Acid Surge. Pyromancer. If you have a pyromancy focused character, you might want to take a look at that. Make sure you don't miss that item. So now I can actually, now that I'm done that, I might actually want to let myself die so I don't get invaded myself by like a real player. But I know there's key thing with invasions is that if you get invaded once, usually it's like you're immune to invasion for like 10 minutes or so, something like that. Okay, so here are the items that I was looking for before. More surprise enemies. Okay, now I can finally cut down this thing, head back, and try to get that item. There's also a new area down there that I might want to look at. Get that item first. Ah, it's humanity. More humanity. Nice. Alright, yet again, I have a lot of souls, so I'll level up one more time. Let's go up to 30 dexterity. So I explored the area to the right there. What do I want to explore next? Got the items over here. I can head down to that well area, or I can look into this building here. Maybe I'll do that. I'll look into this building. Okay, I can't do that right now. I need to find the key before I can continue in this direction. So I'll go ahead and do that. Find that key. Now I'm assuming that it is probably over in this area here. There will likely be a key down here. Now this area I know for sure is very tricky. Very dark, and want to proceed with caution. Right. So first time we're seeing these enemies here. These can be fairly tough to deal with, especially if they come at you in numbers. They can hit you multiple times if you're up against a wall. They just like keep rolling at you like they just did right there. Okay. Perfect example. They keep continuously do damage to you if you don't get away from them in time. Alright, so the upside of that is I'm no longer human, so I don't have to worry about invasion in this area, which is totally fine by me. I did the NPC invader. That's the only reason I would want to actually desire an invasion. Yeah, the specter of invasions is an interesting thing. We definitely don't want it, but I also highly appreciate that the game has that in the game. It has that that threat looming over you, so that if you weapon at risk. Oh man. All right, so definitely want to repair my stuff, and I'm not going to risk trying to run for my retrieval there. I might lose everything. There's the one downside of using this Uchi Katana. It's a really good weapon, but it has a very low durability, so you're repairing it more often than normal, other than the average equipment. Okay, so repairs aren't that much. And while I'm here, I might as well repair the rest of my equipment as well. Alright, so I'm taking this challenge in stride. You know, I'm not letting it overcome me, the fact that I'm separated from the rest of the world. You know, I'm not really separated because I can warp, but I'm trying to treat it as if I was whisked away. So I'm not going to warp out of here and then like come back with a ton of resources to tackle the rest of it. I'm gonna try to approach it with a fair challenge. You know, don't let the game overwhelm you. Just want to keep going at it. So I know there will be an enemy here. There he is. Gotta kill him quickly, because I know more of them will be coming. Retrieval! Alright, gotta let the rest of them come. So if it's dark for you, that's totally intentional because this is a dark area, and you're basically seeing what I'm seeing. I can't really see much here either. Tread cautiously. Like the temptation with here. I mean, I can appreciate the design of this level here. The temptation is to rush for that item, right? Try and go for that item. But then they put enemies in dark corners of the level to, you know, surprise you as if you're trying to, you know, recklessly make your way through. That's one of the admirable things about this game. It punishes recklessness and it rewards people who are careful. Which makes total sense. You wanted to do that. Okay. I see him over there. I think I want him to come back this way. I don't want to move to a new location and then get rushed by yet another dude. Okay. So there are two things I'm looking for. I'm trying to open two different doors here. One that requires a key and one that is requires some other way to open it. Locked by some contraption that usually means with a lever. Where the heck is that guy? There he is. Alright, so I think this will open. Ooh, a secret path, okay. Alright, I want to get this guy, but he keeps rolling out of the way. Okay, there we go. I believe that's the last guy in this little area here. Now, there might be more in that secret passageway here, of course. Let's do this first. Okay. Well, I want to finish my thought about the invasions in this game. It's that I like the fact that they are but they're always a specter, and they're always a possible threat that you have to face. The fact that other players can come into your game and try to, with the intention of killing you, that is their purpose when they invade. When they kill you, if they successfully kill you, they get a lot of humanity and a lot of rewards, a lot of souls, really, and that's a good way to. Oh, nice. Got a helpful message from another player. Illusory wall ahead. Definitely want to rate that fine. But yeah, you might think that something like invasion is unfair, but it is very well balanced in the fact that you only open yourself up to invasion if you go human, and the reason why you want to go human is if you want to do co-op, or if you want to kindle the bonfire. So if you want to get more health, or if you want to call a friend in, a helpful ally in, that is balanced out by the fact that you risk invasion. That is a specific trade-off that you have to deal with. Oh right, I was going to rate that. Use item, rate message. Yes. Okay, tread cautiously. I do believe that all of these weird-looking walls will be fake walls. Ooh, tough. Yeah, see, if they get you in a corner like that against the wall, they can easily just keep rolling damage on you. Ideally, you want them to pass right through you, so they only do damage one time. But in those like narrow corridors, that's where you have to worry about. About them ganking you like that. Alright, so I believe that is connected with this area here. So I'm going to actually approach it from this direction. Okay. Okay, so that's actually where my souls were. Died right over there. I was actually almost over here. Almost made my way over that, this area. Retrieval. Yeah, so this way is back out to that room. Okay, we got a dead end here. Yeah, that's not a fake looking wall. That's a real wall. And this is back up to that well. So this will be the way I get out, so I don't have to deal with the enemies in that other room again. So what I think I'm looking for is the key. If that's around here anywhere, that's what I'm looking for right now. Alright, I see an enemy right there. Get the heck out of here. Alright. Okay, so this leads toxic. Alright, so oh man, I missed it. Okay. Pyromancy, fire surge, okay. I was hoping he would have the key on him, but no. No key. Let's keep looking for that. And approach cautiously, as I've learned before. I'll let that guy come to me, so I can attack him without him totally ganking me. Oof. Yeah, when out in the open, those guys are much better to face, but in tight quarters, they easily just get you. Alright, so that's back up there. Just continue. Aha. Okay, what's this? Annex key. Perfect. Exactly what I was looking for. And I believe this loops back to that main corridor. And this loops back around to that room, right? Yes, it does. Okay, I don't want to go that way. Because I know that there are a ton of enemies over there. Yeah, I already hear them coming at me. Ooh. That's fine. It shouldn't be too difficult for me to come back and get my retrieval. Silly, that was definitely 100% my mistake, so I'm not even mad at the game for that. Normally, people get very mad at this game. For me, I knew that was coming. And, I almost thought, like, oh, I should take a right there, right? So, because I knew that there was a dead end. And I didn't listen to my own voice there. So I know there's going to be enemy waiting over there. Okay, there are my souls. Retrieval! Okay. Let me just get the heck out of here. I don't care about those guys. Just want to get my retrieval and get out of here. Let's go back to the bonfire, actually. So now that I'm completely done with that area, let's back to bonfire, reset. Well, maybe even level up too. Vitality, sure. And while I was discussing invasions and stuff, I want to bring up the fact that this game was made in 2011, and it brought a lot of the invasion mechanics that were already in FromSoft's previous game, Demon's Souls. Invasion and co-op mechanics worked very similar in that game, and also the way the messages on the ground work from other players. So it's like it is mostly a single-player experience, but with the fact that you have always-on passive online portions that are connected to your single-player experiences, and that can influence your personal playthrough of the game. Your single-player experience is impacted by those always online elements of the game and the multiplayer that you can opt into to augment the game. So that's it compares a lot to another game that is single player with like a passive multiplayer experience. That's Journey. That's the game Journey. It's funny that it compares to Journey in that this game is in itself very much a journey-based game rather than like a story-focused game. This is a journey-based game. It's all about the journey more than the destination. So that's an aside there that compares Journey. A lot of people, call on the innovation of Journey for the way its multiplayer would work. Is that if you are online, then you can experience. Whoa, okay. Watch out for that fire there. If you're playing the game online, then random players can enter the game and you can journey through the same part of the world together. A lot of people extol that game for making that innovation the way the largely single-player experience is augmented by that multiplayer portion. But I think Dark Souls actually, or Demon's Souls especially, Demon's Souls predates it a bit. way its multiplayer works. But yeah, it's a little bit more prevalent, I would say. It's a little bit more direct that it's in your face. Alright, on that note, I actually have to, I do have to end the stream here. Unfortunately, I can continue discussion later. For now, I'm just going to head back. I'm just, actually, I don't even have to get to the bonfire. I can, in order to preserve my progress here, I'm just going to let it save right here. Alright, so, if you tuned in, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later. We'll continue. Yeah, continue on in the painted world.